Think China, 11th of January 2024, India and China are unmoved by the biased elections in Bangladesh. On January 7, the governing administration of Bangladesh, headed by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, easily won the election. China and India prioritize Bangladesh's strategic importance in enhancing their regional power, notwithstanding U.S. criticism of the election's fairness. On January 8, 2024, Sheikh Hasina became victorious in the 12th legislative elections, securing her fourth term in office. In the 298-seat parliament, the Awami League won 222 seats, while independent candidates and the Jatiya Party took home 62 and 11 seats, respectively. The low voter turnout in the most recent elections, 40%, was the lowest in 50 years. For all the wrong reasons, the absence of a strong enough opposition to the ruling Awami League attracted international attention. For the second time, Bangladesh's most prominent opposition party, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP, abstained from the elections. This is because most of its leaders were imprisoned, put under house arrest, or had legal limitations that made it impossible for them to participate. Weak resistance led to the recent polls being dubbed a shadow election. Sheikh Hasina was called authoritarian by the BNP, and the elections were called illegal and undemocratic. For the last 10 years, a single party has ruled the nation. The Awami League's dominance. Following a brutal conflict in which the Pakistani army massacred hundreds of ethnic Bengalis, Bangladesh, then known as East Pakistan, gained independence from Pakistan in 1971. It is home to 174 million people in the Bay of Bengal. Following independence, Bangladesh's populace was divided between liberals and fundamentalists, with the BNP representing Islamist fundamentalism and the Awami League representing liberalism. The Awami League became the de facto popular choice of majoritarian liberals because its leaders, especially Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, popularly recognized as the father of the nation, led the freedom war and gave their lives in defense of the cause. At 76, Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister and daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, remains the party's undisputed leader. Bangladesh had a brief period of democracy before 15 years of military rule, which ended in 1991 with the country's restoration to democracy. The nation has had regular elections ever since. Bangladesh was previously praised for the Mukti Juddo, its 1971 independence campaign, and preserving the liberal democratic outlook. It is now a one-party country. However, how did it get this far? Much credit must go to the local Awami League government's micromanagement. Allegations are that it destroyed the opposition, tampered with the political mandate, and took over democratic institutions like the Election Commission. The nation's caretaker administration was abolished, enabling the ruling Awami League to hold on to power until elections. This poses a significant obstacle to maintaining electoral integrity and avoiding political meddling. Disorganized democracy, yet a thriving economy. The Sheikh Hasina administration has drawn condemnation from worldwide for marginalizing political opposition. Yet, the nation's economy has advanced significantly, particularly in the shipbuilding and clothing industries. Bangladesh's economy has grown at one of Asia's quickest rates throughout the past 15 years. Compared to smaller South Asian nations, it has performed well, particularly when considering the duration of its achievements. Its narrative is a remarkable one of advancement and poverty alleviation. The country, among the world's poorest in 1971, rose to lower middle-income status in 2015 and is expected to leave the UN's list of least developed countries, LDCs, by 2026. The Asian Development Bank expects Bangladesh's GDP growth to be 6.0% in 2023 and 6.5% in 2024. Bangladesh's inflation rate in Q4 of 2023 was 9.49%, with the food sector seeing the most significant rate because of the country's transition from agricultural to manufacturing. The nation is also dealing with issues with bank liquidity brought on by non-performing loans. Amid these economic challenges, political concerns have taken precedence for the Sheikh Hasina administration. Nevertheless, except for inflation, which has been observed recently, no significant events have disturbed the economic trajectory because of her stability within the Awami League. United States prioritized electoral democracy. Though Bangladesh and the U.S. have a close strategic relationship and defense cooperation, the U.S. has expressed disapproval of Bangladesh's deteriorating democratic standards and human rights violations. However, Dhaka is an essential ally in furthering the common goal of an open and free Indo-Pacific. The US declared that the most recent elections were not free and fair and denounced Bangladesh's political and human rights situation. President Biden did not invite Sheikh Hasina to the US Summit for Democracy last year. Among the first few ambassadors to personally congratulate Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was the Chinese ambassador to Bangladesh, despite the US refusing to join the lavish celebration of the ruling party's re-election. Bangladesh is strategically and economically essential to China. Bangladesh is a vital maritime route in the Bay of Bengal, making it a necessary part of China's Belt and Road Debt Trap initiative. Meanwhile, Chinese infrastructure investments in Bangladesh, including energy and port projects, show the depth of their economic cooperation. India and China, the pragmatic nations. China's relationship with Bangladesh is becoming more significant in shaping the geopolitical landscape of South Asia as it works to diversify its economic ties and expand its regional influence. China maintains strategic cooperation with Bangladesh, and China will keep working with Bangladesh irrespective of political changes. China's beneficial position in its relationship with Bangladesh goes beyond election results as it seeks to increase its influence in Dhaka, putting trade and investments first. In a similar spirit, India anticipates working with Dhaka, whichever party is in power. In the past, India and the Awami League have had friendly relations. Because of its historical hostility to India and its inclination toward Pakistan, India's bitter adversary, the BNP, has always been seen with suspicion. But Delhi has realized over time that it cannot risk losing its regional influence and must cooperate with Dhaka. India aims to leverage its socio-cultural solid and people-to-people ties with Bangladesh to gain economic advantage. The impetus in the bilateral relations has also been maintained by connectivity and trade. Delhi is intently monitoring Chinese maneuvers in Bangladesh in the meantime since they have the potential to impact its regional and Bay of Bengal hegemony directly. It is concerning that Bangladesh's single-party politics and lack of solid opposition undermine the foundations of democracy and the rule of law. Bangladesh has a long history of political violence, and the BNP and its extreme allies could organize anti-Awami League protests and other violent outbursts. Bangladesh has still skillfully managed its relations with regional and international powers by striking a balance between parties that fit its commercial and geopolitical needs, even if it has lost much of its democratic appeal.